9-month, 11-day check-in. Welcome to my video. Thanks for clicking on this video. Do whatever you can to support if you find it in your reality to do so. I'm going to be checking in with you guys as of 9 months and 11 days without nicotine. Starting off with, I'm going to start off with physically. Physically, I detached from nicotine 9 months and 11 days ago. Yet previously, I have been surrounded by cigarette smoke as well as the smell of cigarette smoke. And physically, I am aware that I could easily do whatever I want to do. I can fucking smoke nicotine if I want to. But that's not the point. Regardless of what I wanted to do, regardless of what I've desired to do, I've continued to abstain. I've been paying attention to nicotine smokers. I've been paying attention to myself. I've realized that if I were to go back to nicotine now, after 9 months and 11 days without it, obviously it'd make me feel pretty good. And at this point, it's so vital, it's so key that I continue to push forward regardless of anything, right? If I want to please my body with certain things, then that's totally my choice. But I'm here to tell you right now, I'm not going to tell you what to do. All I'm doing is spreading awareness. If I were to continue to smoke nicotine, or if I were to, after 9 months and 11 days, or any amount of time without nicotine, had I just gone back to nicotine, I look at it as, why would I do that? I've already experienced nicotine physically. I've already had the maximum amount of buzzes. Of course, if I went back to it, I'd get a really good buzz on the first hit back. But that's not what it's about, right? It's about something bigger than that. It's about not making the same choices that I made before that got me into that certain scenario that I was in. It's about physically sacrificing, right? I could have easily, just this past 9 months and 11 days, continued on the path of nicotine, continued on the path of physically, exerting and putting my body through excruciation of nicotine addiction, even though I see the human vessel is a very resilient vessel in that it's more often than not that you're going to be able to take power and control over the repercussions or out of the damage that you're getting from smoking nicotine. But you don't know if that's going to be the case for sure. And no one knows if that's the case for sure. So if I were to just stop everything that I was doing today, stop this journey and go and buy a vape, how am I supposed to justify that? Even if I have justifications in my mind, like I had justifications in my mind to quit, physically, do I want to put myself through that? Or do I want to continue on a physically sacrificing journey of not having nicotine? If I did have the nicotine, or I did go back to nicotine, then I'd be sacrificing all these things, everything I've talked about. I'd be sacrificing it for what? Pleasing a desire? For getting pleasure for a short amount of time and then needing it again? For putting something in my body that my body once accepted as something that it needed? That is up for me to decide for myself. And I'm telling you right now that I had continued to smoke weed, and this is Delta 8 weed. I smoked regular weed, but I'm saying, like, as of most recently, I've been smoking Delta 8 weed, and obviously I haven't, now that I'm traveling internationally, I haven't smoked weed or gotten high in like 4 days. And it's been a good journey. Physically, I want to talk about some of the things that I've been going through without just having my Delta 8 nicotine or Delta 8 weed. And who's to say that Delta 8 weed or smoking a wax pen or smoking marijuana is better for you than nicotine, because to each their own. And I can just as easily say, oh, what if I had been addicted to weed or Delta 8 weed for 5.5, 6 years, and then I decided to quit? Would I make a big deal out of it? Would it be such a journey? And the answer is yes, because I'd be sacrificing something regardless. Physically, I haven't had nicotine over the past 9 months and 11 days, and I feel stronger for it. My physical body feels healthier for it. But I want to talk about recently without the Delta 8 nicotine. I literally did the same thing twice, so let this go to show that let this take an account, right? I've had extremely vivid dreams the past 4 nights. Stuff that, I've had dreams like this, of course, before, but it's very apparent now when you don't have that vice. And, there's just things that show up in the dreams where it's like, it's teasing you, it's tempting you to do things. So I encourage myself to take a break from that kind of stuff, because, I was waking up in the middle of the night with cold sweats, and it's primarily because I think my body's purging out the Delta 8, and it's like, if you do anything for a constant amount of time and you get so used to doing that, you get so used to that cycle, the moment that you do stop, you're gonna notice it. And it's about the intensity of how you notice it, but not only the intensity of how you notice it, but what it's actually doing, and the fact that you're actually detaching from that, and you're putting yourself in a circumstance that you haven't been in. You've been in a circumstance before you even did the substance, but it's been a while since you've actually gone without it. So I've been learning while I've been traveling, I've been learning to physically go without things, and this has been something that has been fulfilling me over the past 4 days. I keep telling myself, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to stop, because just like I was addicted to nicotine, I'm making these videos. Just like I was doing the Delta 8 THC, I'm doing these videos. So it's about staying consistent with something that's actually something that you accept. If you don't accept nicotine, then don't physically partake in it. Don't do it anymore. It's that simple, but it seems like it's very complicated. And I want to say that at the 9-month and 11-day check-in, I have been challenged. I have been surrounded by nicotine, by dreams of nicotine, by dreams of all sorts of things. I have been sensing projections of others based off of, this self-fulfilling prophecy of journey of, me not smoking nicotine. And of course, I can easily go back to nicotine and then continue to expand, continue to grow in other ways, but this is about teaching, and this is about taking the time, taking the moment to actually teach and to actually help people to understand that you can get over nicotine, you can get over any substance that you're doing if it's in your best interest to do so. The moment I have people coming at me and coming at my neck for spreading awareness about quitting nicotine, I guess it could be because they think I'm bragging, but I strictly am making these videos to spread awareness and to teach. And not only to teach about nicotine, but to also teach about mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional states of being. Because as a life path number 9, I feel as if it's part of my mission to express these things and to teach. And if I have to do it on a platform on YouTube, then that's where I'm going to do it. And if I have to go through resistance of other people judging me for what I'm doing, then that's what I'm going to continue to do. I'm not going to change my path just because of some external light or some external influence that's happening. That's not going to happen. And as you guys can tell, that it takes consistency. It's not easy being consistent, but you have to learn to get into that groove of being consistency to improve yourself. When you improve yourself, you improve the world around you. That's why people that, aren't working on themselves, aren't diving into self-improvement, are not helping the world at all. They might even be stifled in their realities. They might be docile in their realities. They might even be using half or less than half their abilities because that's all they know. Mentally, just prior to creating this video, I was having thoughts of, in a year without nicotine, which is going to be in a couple months for me. I'll reach that 1 year check-in. I've been having thoughts of, is that going to be the right time for me to go back to nicotine? But I'm convinced, and I'm almost certain that that's not the right thing for me. I did something for 5.5, 6 years. I've gone 9 months and 11 days. In 2 months, it'll be a year that I've gone. 2.5 months, 2 2/3 months. It'll be a year. And it's like, I can look at it mentally and I can say, you know what? Mentally, it's been long enough. I think that after a year, I should try it again. That's not what I'm going to do. I don't think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm saying I don't think that's what I'm going to do, not because I'm being indecisive, but because I'm taking over my power and I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to do whatever I want regardless. And I can continue to still teach, and I can continue to still preach the mental, physical, and emotional and spiritual states of being, because that's deeper than anything. It's deeper than just a superficial nicotine addiction or a superficial addiction to marijuana or anything like that. But going back to physically, like I've been having these dreams, you can call them nightmares, but they're really not. It's not like it's affecting me in a certain way, but it's making me stronger, if anything. I've been having those, and then cold sweats. And those are just a reminder that you're quite literally detoxing, and you're quite literally detaching, and you're quite literally purging these things from your body and from your reality, and that's going to allow you to grow. But yeah, back to mentally, I could easily say that, I've gone a year without it, let me go back to this. But like I said, there's much more than just, hey, go a year without this vice and then get right back into it. Because that's not what I want. It's not what I truly want. And of course, the fact that I've done it that I had previously done nicotine for 5.5 to 6 years, and especially at a young age, which built kind of even more even more dependency towards it. It's just gonna continue to push me to actually not relapse. And I'm telling you that mentally you don't need nicotine to get by. Mentally you don't need anything to get by. Mentally, there's a lot of people that are mentally not even using their power. There's people that you see, and I suggest you guys to not even pay attention to social media, to not even go on that kind of stuff. But let me just say, some of these people's posts, there's good posts, don't even get me wrong. There's a post I saw today that was kind of a spiritual post out of someone that I went to school with years back, and I liked it because, well, that was a good message that they put out. But other stuff like someone posting a picture of their friend saying, crew forever, or party hard, party animal, or celebrating this, celebrating that. It's like, yeah, it's good to show, but you look into these posts deeper and you realize that these people are invested in participating in activities that are very low vibrational. So it's like, how can you support this? This is people that are participating in demonic actions and then going on social media and boasting and posting about it like it's something like they're the best thing since sliced bread. Shout out to Joel the pilot, man. He always says that. You're not the best thing since sliced bread. Or they're acting like they're the best thing since sliced bread. And I mean, it's true. It goes to show. You can see the ego pouring out of these people at all times. And you have to wonder, if you were in that scenario, were you using these things for ego? And certainly you can. Certainly it's not impossible because you see it out of these people daily. But you have to look at it like, you have to do something else with your time. You have to do something else with your mental state of being than copy and paste trends that you see online. Try to expand. Try something different for once, right? Instead of all this promiscuous, flirtatious, you think you're cool, you know, whatever it is, you're just diving into your ego and selling it for other people to see. And what is that going to do? Is that mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally validating you? That's seeking outward validation. You can self-validate. I made the day 33 check-in, which was a ritual that I did as part of a video where I highlighted the fact that you should not look for outward validation. You should validate yourself. And you look on social media and that's all you see is people trying to get validation through others, or get validation through these apps, or get validation through these substances. And that's not the right thing. Use your mind. Mentally ask yourself, is this something that I want to continue to keep doing? Or is this something that's holding me back? And is this something that's going to end up putting me 6 feet deep? And mentally, I'm telling you, if you're having those thoughts to go back to a certain lifestyle, to do something that you know isn't right for you, then just fight that, right? Go through the resistance and don't give in to that. It's gonna eventually make you stronger. Spiritually, you have to think what you're actually doing on your spiritual path. How is your spirit being affected, and how is your spirit being afflicted by your addiction or by your actions? I know for sure that if you're heavily invested into demonic things, let me also just say, on my spiritual path recently, today I had someone added me on Snapchat, someone who, I won't say their name, but I guess they went to school around the same time as me, not exactly 3 years before I did. They added me and they were pretending like I knew them enough, and they were asking me about a stalker of some sort. And I said, okay, but they said, I have a question, and they were like, do you know anyone that is stalking me? And I was like, I don't even know who you are, so do you know how do I know who you are? And they said, oh, I graduated at blah, blah, blah. Are you from Tempe? Have you heard them talking about me in a creepy way? And then they send me a number of the person who was stalking them, who lives in Florida. So, and then the previous night before, I got a text from a separate number, a same kind of weird scam where someone texted me from Florida saying, are you my friend Laura? And it was an image of a lady, kind of one of the, not a stock image, but how you would imagine like a scam woman to kind of send a flirty photo of some sort to try to get me loosened up or whatever, to have them scam me. And I read right through it. I told them, I said, I can tell you right now what to do. When I get back to my room, I'll start practicing magic on this person. I'll start doing spells on this person. And I said, not only when someone does something demonic to you or you have a demonic attack done to you, not only can you make this person want to end whatever they were doing and perhaps end themselves, but plus the rule of karma, the universal rule of karma, plus that. So this person's going to be doubled down. And as soon as I told them that this is the tactic that I use to attack a scammer that actually scammed me, or that tried to scam me, they tried to expose me or whatnot. And that's just one of the things that has happened recently. But the spiritual attacks have been so prevalent. I want to tell you guys that stay protected out there. Just stay protected. Always stay aware. Like I told this person that I think was probably stalking me in a weird way of saying, hey, can you help me with this stalking situation? Because they actually cast stones. They wore that esoteric shoe. They fit that shoe, and they started saying, what are you talking about? And I said, well, didn't you want to know how to protect yourself from your stalker? And then they started getting all weird, and at that point, I could tell that they were just trying to get a reaction to me, because they have insight either of what someone did to me, or they have a weird agenda towards me. But I just remained spiritually strong. I was spiritually protected through the whole time, and I was just being me. That's all. Another thing that I did was, when I shared the information with this person, I just saved a screenshot of it. I just deleted them before making this video because I need to clear space. And I'm looking at it like, I don't give a fuck about this. Like, I could care less about what someone thinks about me, because I know myself that well. I don't need to pay attention to any of that. So I told them, they said, what are you doing screenshotting? I said, well, the only reason I did this is so I know what information I shared, and I know that because I don't know you, it's just a record to go to show why was I prodded to answer something like that? Why was I randomly added up, talked about, someone asking me about something that I had no clue about, asking me if I live in Tempe, and no, I don't live in Tempe. I don't live in the Devil's Den. I live in heaven. So you should already know that answer. I'm an angel. I don't live in the Devil's Den. I live in heaven. And I recommend you guys always strive to live in heaven. Heaven on earth, baby. It's what it's all about, But like I said, the spiritual attacks have been so prevalent. And then before that, I had deja vu where I'm in Taiwan right now. I'm in Hsinchu City, Taiwan. And I was in a room just like this one here. I'll show you guys this room. This is shout out to Dole the Pilot Man. This is his music that I'm listening to right now. Best rapper alive and dead. You heard it here. But I was sitting down, and this also made me think about Dole, because he had a similar thing happen to him, where deja vu occurred. And this deja vu occurred when I was in a room just like this one, kind of a conference room, and I had been in that room the few days before, a few days prior, but the absolute thing that happened when I was on my phone and the thing that I scrolled on, like someone's story, I had seen that story when I was at home, which I was in the United States, in Arizona, where I reside. I hadn't even been to Taiwan when I had seen this occurrence happen. You know, I got on my phone and I checked and I was like, oh, you know, damn, I just got deja vu. And so there's something going on with that, you know, parallel timelines merging, the esoteric and the exoteric merging, and it really just comes down to being a powerful spirit. Of course, you can look at this as a scenario where I literally had a premonition about something. Of course, it wasn't something that was so drastic, but it's just interesting that I was getting someone stalking me, asking me weird questions, someone that pretended like they knew me when they really don't even know me like that. And I think it's because they know that I can help them, but at the same time, they were so weird that I think that they were just pretending. They were putting on a front of, hey, you know, I'm gonna try to stalk this person. I'm gonna pretend like I've been stalking them. They need help with me, and I need help from them. And if you guys need anything, you know, I can try to do my best to help you out. But I was just telling them, like, use your power that you have. They're like, as soon as I said, I'm gonna practice magic on these people, who is doing the scamming, who's doing the stalking, I genuinely mean that. And I mean mental magic, physical magic, emotional magic, mental magic, spiritual magic, because that's the power. That's how these things work. You're able to do things that are far beyond what you could imagine, and that's the truth right there. I've seen it. I've seen it happen, and I've manifested it. So I know that the magic's real. I know that you can do spells. I know that you can do rituals, and I know that they're successful if you do them right. If you have the right practice, you have the right spiritual system, then you can do anything. Emotionally, been riding the currents, right? Been staying above the wave. Even at the same time where it's like, man, I've gone through so much. Man, this is getting older. How long do I have to go with experiencing emotions of, I want to go back to nicotine, or I want to go partying, or I want to experience getting drunk and then hitting my nicotine devices because it gets you so buzzed, and I want to feel good, I want to feel comfortable on a 24/7 basis. Fuck that. You think that's gonna benefit me in any way? Oh, this is a good song. You think that's gonna benefit me just to validate my emotions outside, to externally validate my emotions? No, that's gonna get me caught into another trap of being dependent on something emotionally to feel good, whereas I can emotionally feel fine. And I'm just gonna give a second for this song real quick. It's getting hard to see the picture in the frame. Come on, see? That feels good. This is the perfect time for emotional. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, emotionally, you're gonna feel better if you go without stuff. You're gonna feel better if you make those sacrifices that you have to make. I guarantee it. Trust me. Why don't you trust me? You will after this video. I'm just kidding, but guys, I'm trying to express that you can turn a new page, like I said in last night's video, emotionally. Energy. That's Energy Bits by Dolo the Pilot Man. It's actually on the Soul Group album. But yeah, guys, like I was saying, emotionally, you have the opportunity to literally just keep going, keep vibing high no matter what. If you're detaching from your desires, you're gonna emotionally have times where you're emotionally up, you're gonna have times when you're emotionally down. It's about balancing them because, well, you can't just emotionally be dependent on things, so don't look for emotional validation like I was talking about before. Don't look for emotional validation by other people. You see it a lot of times on social media. You don't need validation from other people. And validate yourself. You are your own person. You're not someone else. You're not trying to be someone else. You don't have to be someone else. You have your own energy signature. Be your energy. Don't be someone else's. Don't pretend to be someone else's energy. But yeah, guys, thank you for supporting my videos. Thank you for watching. This is the 9-month and 11-day check-in with nicotine. Everyone out there on their mission, all of God's children, staying up no matter what. I'm glad I was able to come and make the 9-month and 11-day check in with you guys physically, check in with you mentally, check in with you spiritually, check in with you emotionally, and I guess I'll leave you with some tips, one in each category. Physically, do exercise, right? I was traveling and I did, what I did was, like I said, I got here Sunday night, I went swimming, I did, I did 8 laps the first night, down and back, in a, about 22 yard pool, and I talked about this in my 9-day check-in, which was the 2-part video, and I talked about, it's the one that has Taiwan in quotations, because I wanted to show the location, just because I thought it was pretty cool. And not cool in a way where I want to prove to others like it's cool. No, I legitimately like the location I'm in. I legitimately have enjoyed the vacation. Not vacation, I'm here on business, but I've genuinely enjoyed the travel because this is a great place, The culture in Taiwan, the people, they are a great people. The Taiwanese people, they're truly amazing. And they are just really genuine people who say what they mean and mean what they say. But let me get to the fact that I got that exercise Sunday night. Monday night, 10 laps, down and back once, down and back twice, 10 of those. Then Tuesday night, it was 13 laps. I was doing 12, so I was going up by 2 each time, but then I was like, you know what, no, I'm gonna push myself, I'm gonna do one more, so I did 13 laps on Tuesday night. Right now it's Wednesday night. But yeah, it's Wednesday night, and I probably would have done 14 laps, but I decided not to because, well, I didn't actually have the energy for it tonight. But this is just a tip, guys. Even getting that exercise helped push me because I was able to harness power out of the consistency of physically getting that exercise. And I was just doing like strips. I was doing this, I was doing this, I was doing all the swimming, and that just felt good. I was able to push myself. As soon as I got out of that exercise, I was able to apply myself and then stay physically focused and physically present. So that's something that helped me. Mentally, I've been staying in the present moment because mentally, staying present, applying your mental state to always thinking about your reality. Don't just stay docile, okay? So you can improve your mental state by staying present, by applying your mental state to certain things you haven't before. Challenge yourself mentally. Don't just stay docile. It expands what I'm trying to say. Spiritually, go on a path of spiritual growth. Like I've said, when you physically travel, that's physical death, spiritual birth. When I stopped smoking nicotine, that was a physical death, which means I stopped doing something, which is called physical death. Just like when you die, you pretty much stop living. Let's stop doing something. Just like that, traveling, you are putting an end to being in one location, you're going into another location, allowing you to spiritually grow. So that's something that I recommend for spiritually growing. And then emotionally, always emotionally staying balanced. Even if you have these emotions where you feel like you're literally going to lose it, like you're gonna blow the top off this planet, and just, you have TNT everywhere, and even if you get to that point where you feel that way, and before recording this video, I was very much triggered because I'm looking at myself and I'm being way too hard on myself, and I'm like, I feel as if I just was stressed and I was gonna start getting angry and aggravated, but I told myself, I said, don't do that, You know that your emotions are gonna balance out. Just stay on the path mentally, physically, and spiritually. And then emotionally, you're going to be able to react to that emotionally. And what you're gonna be reacting to is something that you built for yourself. So it's gonna be more of a high-vibing emotional state. So, guys, that's important. Anyone out there going through anything mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, you got this. Thanks for watching my 9-month and 11-day check-in. Peace.